Okay, so is it recording? We'll continue with uh, the insert function. So we already have done insert at the beginning and display. So the next one is inserting at the end. So we need to create a function to insert at the end of the linked list. Insert at end of linked list. So inserting at the end of the linked list is easier than that of inserting at the beginning. So we need to create a function. So let's say void insert end. Okay. So inside the function, we need to create, or we need to declare the variable we need to store variable we need to store for the input of the user. So int value, then next, that is cout enter value. So enter value. Okay, so we just need to in variable value. So basically we need uh, two. We need two variable, that is let's say for example temp and s. Temp is used to store the new node we will create, and s is for temporarily using as the start or the head of our linked list. So we need to declare true to, that is struct node uh, so temp variable and s. So temp is used to store the new node we will create. So new node with a value, uh, variable value, and then we need to use s as a temporary storage for uh, our head. So s would be equal to start. Now in inserting at the end of a linked list, we just need to iterate until the last element of the linked list. How do we do that one? By finding, or uh, by equating the next pointer, or the next pointer to null. If the next pointer is already equal to null, then it's already the end of the linked list. Ganun po yun. Kumbaga, di ba, may next pointer tayo. Maglo-loop lang tayo. If the next pointer is already equivalent to null, then that's already the end of our linked list. So how should we do that one? So we just need to loop. So s of next is not equal to null. So what should we do? We just need to iterate each element. So that would be, we need to move to the second element. So s would be equal to s of next. That's it. We just iterated up to the last element. Then after iterating, what should we do? Temp. Okay. Temp of next. Take note, temp of next. Temp of next should be equal to null. Why? Bakit po? Di ba si temp ang magiging last element natin? So, the next pointer of temp, take note, if temp is the last element, then the next pointer of temp should be equal to null, because there will be no element succeeding to this temp value. The next, that is the temp of next. The next thing that we should do is s of next. Take note, s of next. We iterated, take note, we iterated up to the last element in here. So s of next should be equal to temp. Should be equal to temp. So that's it. So let's test. So we copy this one, Control C. We comment out this one, and then we declare this one in here. Oh, so insert at end. Then we need a semicolon. Then we need to test if it's working. Okay, so insert at the beginning. Let's try insert at the beginning. So elements to be inserted, 33. Okay, so we need to display. So 33 and null. If we are to insert again, it would be 33, the inserted value, and then null if we will use the insert at the end. So let's try 2. So enter value. So let's say 34. So we need to display it's 4. So 33, then 34, then null. Let's try it again. So for now 35. So the output should be 33, 34, 35, then null. Okay, so it's working. Now we need to proceed to the next function, which is void insert position. So void insert pos, we declare it already because that that would be the next thing that we should do after coding. Then we need to uh, comment out this one. Okay, so we need to create the function for inserting at a certain position. Inserting at a position. So void insert underscore pos. Okay. So insert pos. Okay. So in inserting at a certain position, we need to consider that still, if we are to insert in position 1, pag nag-insert po tayo sa position 1, that is just like inserting at the beginning of our linked list. Okay? So if we choose one, that's the same. So we need to create scenarios. Let's say for example, if the position inputted is 1, then we need to do the inserting at beginning. So if we are to insert at a certain position, uh, we need to iterate until that position. So mag-iterate kasi tayo hanggang sa last para hindi po mag-breakdown yung code natin. Kasi po, if we are talking about linked list and nakahanap po siya ng null na hindi pa niya naaabot yung position desired po natin, parang nag-error po yung code natin. So, ang gagawin po natin, mag-iterate lang po tayo up to the last element of our linked list. So, we need to count how many elements do we have. So, bali ang kailangan natin, so, the value to be input, the position, and let's say for example, a counter to count the number of elements in a linked list. So, cout, enter value, enter value, enter value. Okay, so that would be cin value. Then next, we need different we need another temporary variable to store our new node, and at the same time to temporarily store our head. So let's declare so struct node, and then let's say temp and then another one is to temporarily store our head or start, which is S. S lang po yung nilalagay ko para hindi ako malito that that is our start. Next. So, yun. The next thing that we should do is to store the new node that we will create into temp. So temp equals new node which has a value, which has an element of value. The value po natin. And then, enter position pa pala. So, cout, enter, desired, pagod na ako, position. So, enter desired position. So, of course, that is, we will use the variable pos. Okay. Then, we need to equate S equals start. Kasi gagamitin natin yan. While, eto na. Kakount na natin yung Kakount na natin yung number of elements natin. So, we'll iterate up to the last element po natin. So, file S is not equal to null. So, bibilangin lang naman natin kung ilan yung elements natin. So, we need to iterate up to the last one. So, S equals S of next. Kasi magkakanda ito hanggang doon. So, pag naabot niya na yung null, ititigil niya na. And at the same time, we need to increment our counter para po mabilang natin kung ilan yung number of elements. So, as I told you a while ago, there is two possibilities. Pag position 1, it's like inserting at the beginning. So, take note, if pos is equal to 1, what should we do? It's like inserting at the beginning. Parang nag-insert lang po tayo sa beginning. Anong unang gagawin natin? We need to test if the linked list is empty. So, if, okay, we just, so, if, paano ba natin malalaman? Okay, start. Pag empty pala. Start is equal to null. If that's equal to null, then what should we do? So, start, gagawin natin, start, the head would now be equal to the temporary variable we have created, which is, ito po yan, this one. So, start will now be equal to the new node we just have created. Then, the next pointer should be equal to null. Otherwise, if it's not empty, so else, what should we do? If it's not empty, then we need a temporary variable again. So, temp to store. Okay. We just need to struct node. So, there is temp to store. Temp to store. Okay. So, temp to store, that would be equivalent to our start, because we need to temporarily store our head pointer. So temp to store would be equal to start, and then start would be equal to the new node we have created, which is temp. Okay, then start of next, the next pointer of our head would be the one that we have stored previously, which is temp to store, would be equal to temp to store. Okay, that's it. If that is at position 1. Let's try it. Enter your, okay, let's try 1. Insert at the beginning, so 11. Insert at the end, so let's try 12. Okay, so display, that would be 11, 12 null. Okay. So insert at a certain position, let's try 3. Enter a value. We will insert at position 1. Okay, so let's try 10. So enter desired position 1. Then 4. That would be 10, 11, 12, then null, supposedly. Okay, so it's working if that is in position 1. Now, how about if that is not in position 1? Okay, so this one. So else, as I told you a while ago, we need to iterate until the last element only. So else if. So we already, we need to disregard 1. So pos must be greater than 1. And at the same time, it should be the same with our counter. So the number of elements pos must be less than or equal to the number of elements counter. Okay? Okay. So position 1 is greater than 1, and at the same time it must be the same as the number of elements. So what should we do? So we need to use start. Okay. So we need to iterate up to the last element or the last position desired. So it should be 4. Okay, so this is just for counting until the desired position. For I should be equal to 1, that is position 1. Then I should be less than position. And then I would be I plus plus. Sir, bakit less than po ito? Why is it that this is just less than? Because if we equate it, I is less than or equal to the position. Take note if I is less than or equal to position. So if we put position 3, if we put equal sign in here, instead of being in position 3, it would be in position 4. Nakuha po. Kasi mag-a-adjust po siya eh. So, what should we do in here? We have temporary variable anyway. So, temp to store. Anyway, this is just a temporary variable. Would be equal to start. Temp to store would be equal to start. And this is just to save the beginning. So temp to store would be equal to start, or the head, I should say. So start. We need to use variable s. So s would be equal to start. So instead of start, this should be s. So s would be equal to s of next. So it will just iterate up to the last position desired. So ibig sabihin, magbabago po yung value ng start po natin hanggang dun sa post po natin. So si temp store naman po ang mag-store po nun. Okay? Temp to store. So temp to store of next. Temp to store of next. Okay, so ang gagawin na po natin, temp to store of next. Kasi 'di ba ang ginawa natin dito kasi kanina hanggang less than lang. So ang gagawin po natin, okay, take note this is just less than. Now, temp to store of next. Take note would be equal now to our new node. The node we just created, which is temp. Now, temp of next would now be equal to s. That is the head. Nakuha? Okay. So let's try. Oh, there's an error. Potentially uninitialized. That is temp to store. Okay, so if that's the error, uninitialized, you just need to assign a value of null. So let's try. So that's 1. Enter element. That is 12. Let's say 12. Insert at the last. Let's say for example 14. Okay. So let's display that one. 4. So 12, 14. Let's go to position 2. So insert at position 2. Enter value. Let's say 13. Enter desired position. That is 2. Was it inserted? Okay, so 13, 12, 13, 14, then null. It's already working. Now for the last one, what if the position entered was not at the range? So else, if not in the range, so we just need to output position out or not in range. So C out, position not in range. Okay, so that's it. Backslash n. And okay, so this is already the code from here. So this is the insert position, and so this is the declaration and the insertion declaration of variables. Then this is how to count the number of elements, and this one is for position 1, and this is for other positions, and this is out of range position, and that's it.